Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BT and Kristal's podcast. I am T.
And I'm Kristal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to have you all with us today. It is another lovely fall day, gearing up to Thanksgiving next week. I can't wait.
I
am
can't
so
wait.
excited about Thanksgiving.
So we can finally get off the topic and get back into the Christmas spirit.
And you know what? I'm so glad you said that because we're getting right back into the Thanksgiving spirit on this episode. I didn't tell Kristal. I told Kristal I had something for her. She just didn't know that thing was a continuation of the Thanksgiving extravaganza that is November. I don't want to hear y'all mouth. Thanksgiving is just as okay. No, maybe I'm going too far now. I'm capping. But Thanksgiving is the second most important holiday.
I will say
year.
that. Yes.
Boom.
The second, which is why we only give it a week. But I will say you're really lucky because if I had just a little bit more time, I had fully planned to deck out this whole day. Like I was fully prepared to come in here. I was like, I came in here and I was like, do I have time to like switch some things out?
And you know what? That was the Lord keeping that evil spirit up off you. Because he was like, all holidays are created slightly less superior
I was about to say,
to Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Finish that sentence?
You know, I had to revise it. But before we get into the holiday spirit for real, before I whip out the live turkey I got hiding off camera, Kristal, how are you?
I'm good. I will say that it's been a pretty good week. Our Facebook has been Facebooking, as you like to say, which has been really exciting. It was not something we were expecting. Y'all got a lot to say about these Karens.
Yeah.
Because that video, that little sneak peek I did with the Karen in the driveway thing, that just came out of nowhere and just started shooting up. So we appreciate it. I wish we could have, commented on every single post. The same thing about the other video that was doing the one with the passport. That one, I mean, that's over 400 comments right there. It was so overwhelming. So we tried to comment as much as we could. Even now, like we'll go in and we'll see something, it's in no particular order. It's just, we'll leave a little bit here and there. But yeah, we really appreciate the love. Seriously, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love, I was very rusty at the beginning of interacting with, the Facebook. Kristal was doing a lot of that. And I was going through it one day and I was like, Kristal, girl, we don't have to postpone this recording. Like, I can't do it. And, she was like, well, try to relax and interact with the people on Facebook because the videos is blowing up. And I was like, I don't know if I have the mental capacity to do that right now, in the space that I was in. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go in there and see what's happening. And it was really fun, actually. Like, I was like, this is enjoyable. So I've been trying to do it, a lot more, trying to, peep in there when I can, answer a couple, and I've seen a lot of people have been having their own conversations. Like there's whole threads in these comment sections. So if y'all ain't in them damn comment sections yet, go in there and get y'all lives. Go in there and talk some shit, do what you want to do in that comment section. As long as you ain't disrespectful, go in there and do what you want to do because it's a good time.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I'm in agreement. And that's what's most fun for me is seeing the conversations that people are having with each other. So when I go in there and I'm reading some of these threads and I'm seeing the back and forth, that's what I've been really enjoying. So yeah, that's why I gave you the advice. I was like, you know what, go ahead and go on these comments and just, take your mind off of things, because we did that. We created that conversation in some way.
So did.
I mean, ultimately it was the story itself, but we were able to get it out there to you folks. Yeah. So that was exciting.
So Karens, as much as we can't stand y'all when we interact with y'all, thank you. Thank you for cutting up out here in the world. Thank you for being the gum on the bottom of our shoes. Just an annoyance, you know, an
Because
irritate, an irritant.
everyone needs something to bond over.
It, our mutual hate of Karens. So Kristal, piggybacking off of last week's episode, you and I had a short conversation about Christian Girl Fall.
Okay.
And you were saying that you didn't know what it was.
You're right. And I didn't even look it up.
And I thought it would be so appropriate this week to tie into the Thanksgiving spirit to explain to you who exactly this Christian Girl Fall, which I actually found out is Christian Girl Autumn.
Okay.
Because she had to keep it official. Who Christian Girl Autumn is. So thank you to Forbes for this lovely article. She's in Forbes, Kristal. How you don't know about this girl is crazy.
I was about to say, I feel kind of bad now that I don't know, because I'm usually pretty up to date with like cultural things.
Because Kristal, you are a part of this girl's clan. I mean, the curl of your hair, the sweater you got on, the tea, come on, dog. You couldn't be more Christian Girl Autumn if you tried. So this article is entitled, It's a Christian Girl Autumn Again. How Caitlin Covington, it don't get more perfect. How Caitlin Covington became a yearly viral sensation and scored big brand partnerships. Now, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of the backstory of who she is, just to fill in Kristal at the same time, in case y'all don't know who Christian Girl Autumn is. So I'm going to read from what Forbes has given us here. They're giving us some key facts. So Covington has been widely called the face of fall on the internet since 2019, when Christian Girl Autumn meme captivated social media, which was born out of the internet jokes poking fun at people, typically white women, who enjoy stereotypically fall things such as big sweaters, Ugg boots, and pumpkin spice lattes.
All of which I am currently involved with.
Okay, viewers, if you would look directly down towards the bottom of the picture window, if you can see what's in that tea glass, it's a pumpkin spice latte. Internet hype for Covington's return this fall has been building. A post from Pop Culture Updates, according to Covington's Vermont trip, garnered more than 120,000 likes. And a TikTok video Covington posted announcing she's booking her trip to the peak fall foliage amassed 310,000 likes and thousands of excited comments. She's been embracing everything. She has 1.3 million followers on Instagram, Kristal. She also has brand partnerships with Saks Fifth Avenue and Nordstrom. And she has also previously told the New York Times that she scores between $10,000 and $15,000 per Instagram post during her Vermont trip.
Well,
this girl is making coin. So she also created an online shop called LTK, which assists influencers in selling clothes. So any clothes that they wear in their Instagram posts, they then, I guess, consign to her shop for her to sell it for them, and then she gets a commission off of it, right? So she said previously that if she were to buy a top for $30 and then put it in her consignment shop, she can make $1,000 in commission from just putting it on her shop. This girl, you talking about tripping into some money?
I know.
Goodness gracious!
Like you really only have to work in the fall, and then you can take the rest of the year off.
Speaking of which, the most recent trip that she took, the clothes that she and her daughter was born earlier this year. So, that's a whole nother level of caucasity that she is digging into, okay? Because them Caucasian pockets are deep. Shout out to our Caucasian listeners. How y'all doing? Send me $1 or two. I'll put my Cash App in the description somewhere. I would really appreciate $1. If one of y'all send $1, if each of y'all send $1, I might. Okay, anyway. Um, the articles of clothing that she and her daughter had on in this most recent photo shoot, she has put on her consignment shop, and that includes their Ugg boots and their H&M sweaters. Imagine going to H&M and buying a $12.99 sweater off the clearance rack and then selling that hoe for $500. Just because it's you and it's fall and it's Christian girl autumn.
See, I don't know if I could do that. I feel like I would, because I know there are some, like something called like affiliated market, where you can just post the link and to where you bought it, and then you could have like a code that they put in. Sometimes it'll be a discount code, or sometimes it's just to say, hey, I'm buying this because of this person, and then get a commission from that. Like, I would rather, if I'm going to do something like that to my audience, I would rather them also pay $12.99 than something outrageous, just because it's coming from me. Because while I would love to make that kind of money, I don't know how I would feel about doing it that particular way, if that's the way she's doing it.
You know what? She really got straight to the money. And I think generally I totally agree with you and what you're saying. But I think in her specific case, because she ain't asked to be a meme, they were going to use her likeness anyway. So I'm like, girl, go ahead and get your coin. If people are going to make money off of making you the theme of fall and you ain't seeing none of that money, girl, go ahead. And if these people want to, I ain't gonna call them dummies, but if these people want to pay $1,000 for a $30 sweater just because you had it on an Instagram post, girl, cash that check every
That's
day.
That's true. I mean, there are people, and it's, some of them are people who just, they have that type of money, like $1,000 to them is just chump change. It's what $10 is to us. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah. So I
Girl,
guess
can
that,
you
yeah.
imagine? Can you imagine pulling $1,000 out your pocket and being like, "Here you go. That's chump change."
Right.
I got a couple more stacks of them in my car, just in the glove compartment, just waiting on child. So moving on, continuing in the theme of the Thanksgiving spirit. One of the most important pieces, other than being with your trifling ass family, for the holidays, is the food. I truly am a foodie. I love a good meal. I love a good seasoning. I love an exotic experience when it comes to cuisine. But I think one of the most cozy things about Thanksgiving is the familiarity with the food that's going to be on the table. So I was looking up, I was curious. I said, what are the top ranked dishes for Thanksgiving?
Ooh,
Right?
ooh.
Oh, yes,
I
Crystal.
want to give my opinion. Is this like a
Okay.
top 10?
This is actually a top 14.
Oh, good God. Okay, we're not going to do a top 14, but I'll do like a top, like 5. I'll do a
I about
top
to say, give
5.
me your top 5.
Give me top 5. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily my top 5. So, for instance,
No,
obviously
no, no.
turkey's
We
gonna,
need your top
my
5.
top 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a turkey person. Um,
Okay.
I just don't feel, no matter how much you season it and put flavor in it, I don't think it always comes out the best. There's been a few, like someone did a smoked turkey one time, and that was actually really good. But they tried it again and it didn't quite, like, I feel like turkey doesn't always come out the same every year. So I'm not much of a big turkey fan. So for me, I love ham. I love a good ham. I like it when my mom brings it out. I like it when it's glistening. I like when she takes the juices and she pours it over, and it's just, I am a ham person. So that would be my first one, ham. My mom makes one of the best green bean casseroles. She puts the French onion on top of it. She has the like cream of mushroom into it. Don't give me that look. Don't twist your face up, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Sorry.
something. There have been people who do the same exact thing. They're like, green bean casserole. And then they try it and they're like, yo, this right here. You're going to have some fucking green bean casserole when you get here.
I
Anyways.
am the type of person, I don't eat other people's food. I'm sorry. I can't do it because what if I don't like it?
So you don't like it.
But then I'm rude because then I'm like, you know.
We've been dealing with a 9-year-old who has no problem telling us that he does not like our food. Trust us,
But it's
it's
normal for
fine to me.
kids. I'm knocking on 30 door. You know, I'm too damn old to be not liking something.
I'll tell you what. I will give you some to go, and you can do it on your own time, okay?
Boom.
But her green bean casserole, I'm with you on. I've tried other green bean casserole, and it's just not it. It's not it. So her green bean casserole, my mom's. Next for me would probably be mashed potatoes. I don't care if it has gravy in it, or I don't care if it does. I like the mashed potatoes with or without the gravy. Stuffing, yes. I have to have the stuffing. Want it. And then, of course, mac and cheese. And it has to be the good mac. I want to see mac and cheese. I want to see the cheese with cheese on top of it. Like, it needs to be layered. It's got to be creamy.
Oh.
Do not come at me. Don't come at me with this hard ass mac and cheese. If I feel a single crunch, I'm throwing that bitch out the window like a steak.
Why are you serving me a brick and calling that mac and cheese? This is cement. This is cement. I could insulate my house with this mac and cheese. Get this away from me.
Right. If you're cutting into it like a casserole and serving it, no.
I'm liable to throw up.
Absolutely not.
I'm liable to throw up.
So those are mine.
That's a pretty good list. Before we go through because this story is actually about sides, and I want to know what your opinions are on these sides, because I feel like some of these sides don't belong on the table, in my personal opinion. If I had to get my top 5, number 1 being the best, I think I would have to say, instead of green beans, because I do like a green bean, but I would rather have fried cabbage. Oh, I love a fried white cabbage with bacon, chicken stock. See, it's real country around my way, Kristal. Your people came from up north. It's real country around my way.
I don't think I've ever had a fried cabbage, unless it was in the lumpia I make.
It's so good. It's so good. Fried cabbage on the side. I think next would be sweet potatoes. Some people call them candied yams. I like sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. I would say I don't like turkey, period. Unless it's like from the deli sliced up to put on a turkey sandwich. I don't like no carb turkey. It's always dry. Even when it's not, it ain't got that much flavor to it unless you got like copious amounts of gravy. I do love ham. But it's not in my top 5. I would rather have a whole chicken.
Okay.
A whole stuffed chicken. Oh,
we've done that.
It's so good. And you take the drippings and make the gravy out of it. Oh my God. So number 3, whole chicken. Number 2 is stuffing. You got to have stuffing. People say it's called dressing if it's not in the bird, but I like it from in the bird and on the side, and it's all stuffing to me. Y'all kiss my ass.
I was about to say.
But
I guess I understand, like, stuffing, like you're supposed to.
Yeah. But I don't like the people that's like, that's not stuffing, that's great. Well, how about I stuff your ass? Shut up. It's all the same thing.
It's all the same.
And number 1, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, child. I made you mac and cheese while you were here, but it was not. It was not the right one. That was
But
just the one pot mac and cheese.
I feel like
My
you've
actual
made it at Sharna's house.
Oh, I did make it. I did
Hmm.
make it. But that's a different recipe. I've changed it again. Cuz that one was a little too solid for me.
Mm.
The one I make now is very, you know, the memes when they say I want that thing sound like mac and cheese. It's very that, okay? Nowadays, I have taken the two recipes and I've mashed them into one, and I have found it. I have found that sweet spot. So we share in our love of mac and cheese there. But I will go through this list very quickly, and we're just going to give it a yay or a nay, whether it
Hmm.
should be on the table. Okay, because some of these things to me don't belong. Number 14, corn. Nay. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Number 13, green beans. I'm down with the green beans, but they got to be like, I want turkey necks in them, or bacon, or something. Like you can't just give me water and bean. Like if you give me water and bean, I'm liable to turn the table over. This is one that I haven't had before, but I do make this glazed carrots. I've never had that at Thanksgiving.
I'm not
Y'all like
a.
glazed carrots?
I will try your glazed carrots. I will try because you've mentioned them before.
Honey
But
garlic glazed
right,
carrots I make.
I'll try it. But I'm not usually a fan of cooked carrots. I don't.
Really?
I'll eat it raw, but cooked, for some reason, I've never liked them. It's
I
like
can't believe that. I love a cooked carrot.
it's like it enhances the carrot flavor,
Mm.
and the fact that it's mushy too. I'm like, I'm not with the.
Okay. Next, number 11 is roasted root vegetables. We're talking about turnips, beets, things like that.
I'm gonna go in the middle. It's gonna have to
See,
depend on how it's cooked.
I love root vegetables
Right.
any other day, not on my Thanksgiving table. If you give me root vegetables, I'm
See,
not gonna say what I was gonna say.
the thing is with both those turnips and stuff like that, for people
Mm.
who are like low carb, they use that as a mashed potato substitute. And they do, like turnips
Mm.
especially, like we make this
Mm.
soup called zuppa secano. You can usually get it at Olive Garden. We
Mm.
make it with turnips. I remember, our old coworker Amanda, I gave it to her one time because she was in her losing weight and all this
Mm.
stuff, and she was talking about potatoes, and I brought it in one day, and I was like, "Here, try this soup," and she did, and she was like, "Oh, this is really good, but I can't do it with the potatoes, because it's too much carbs." I'm like, "No, no, 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 those are turnips." It blew her mind, like she had
Okay.
no idea these were turnips, and
You know
to
what?
this
Why do
day
I
she
feel like
makes
I
it.
remember that day?
Yeah.
Like I can see the tub
Yep.
sitting by the soup,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I feel like I walked in the middle. Why do I have that memory?
Yeah. And then there's
That is
someone
so random.
else. There's someone else. I ran into someone, I can't remember, but they said to this day that they still make that.
You may have to teach me how to do that because I love a root vegetable,
Mm-hmm.
and I will puree something in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because I
So if
like a
you
cauliflower mash too.
right. If you do it correctly, a turnip is a very, very great alternative
Mm,
for a potato.
okay. So number 10, rolls.
Oh yeah.
But they gotta be
Absolutely.
Hawaiian. Hawaiian rolls.
Absolutely.
Number 9, candy yams/sweet potatoes.
I'll give it a yes.
Number 8, green bean casserole. I'm sorry, girl. You gonna have to give me a taste of
I
that,
am.
which your mama finna make,
Yep.
and then if you don't hear from me, then you know why. Number 7, cornbread. You gonna eat your cornbread?
I'm gonna go in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind
You
cornbread. I'm gonna listen. I don't mind cornbread, but I usually when I have cornbread is with like chili. Like that's when I have my
Oh my
cornbread.
god. You
By
are so
itself,
northern. It's disgusting.
I'm okay with it, but it's not. It's a no. It's a maybe. I'm
Them
gonna
New
go with
Orleans
maybe.
have ruined you. They have ruined you. 6, Brussels sprouts. 5, gravy.
Mm, I must.
4, stuffing.
Mhm.
3, cranberry sauce.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm
We're
in the
gonna go
middle.
up that,
I'm,
especially because you need that for your sandwiches afterwards.
and you know what? That's what people say. But who making a Thanksgiving sandwich?
I mean, afterwards, like for leftovers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Really? My
What you
nana,
putting on that sandwich
my
other than
nana would
turkey?
do sliced turkey. She'd put
Mm.
the cranberry, and she put a little bit of lettuce, some cheese, and on a bread. That was my go-to grandma's lunch, even before Thanksgiving. That was her
Damn.
go-to lunch, and I used to eat it with her. You know,
Mm.
when I would go and visit. And by grandma, I actually mean my great grandma. In my family,
Mm.
our grandma is actually Nana, and our great grandma is grandma. That's how we do it in my
Okay.
family.
Because I was up here
So,
like, when you went to
yeah.
visit.
So that's
But
what
that's
my
because I know
Nana would
your
make.
business.
Yeah. That's how
Mm.
my Nana make. And if she didn't make that, then it was always a meatball sandwich.
Ooh. Okay, meatball sub? Or like she put.
No, it was a meatball sandwich. I don't think my grandma could have done a sub.
But how
She
you
was
make a meatball sandwich?
you lightly toast the bread, and then you just slice up the meatball and place it on there,
Oh,
and then
okay.
you put cheese on
Okay.
it and you kind of toast it. You put it on
Mm.
top. Cut it.
Because I would say that would kind of be fire if you had like uh like the Uncrustables got the edges where
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
bread
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
sealed. If you could do that with meatball sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
okay, boy, they gonna think I'm 30,000 pounds on this podcast when I'm talking about the food. Number 2, macaroni and cheese. We discussed our love for it. And number 1, the most controversial thing on this list for me, just because it's in the number 1 spot, mashed potatoes.
I mean, I want it on the table. So
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it necessarily has to be number one, but I want it on the table. Not my phone giving me the thumbs up as well. Do you
I
see this on
know.
my screen?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know why it does this.
Oh my god.
Because I've been
That
noticing.
is funny.
So I don't know if y'all have noticed, the picture here has been different the last couple episodes because I'm now using my phone as my webcam. So,
Mhm.
but with that being said, I've noticed in a couple of episodes randomly, I don't know what I do. I don't know if I do the thumbs up or if I make a hand mimic that looks like a thumbs up, but the little thing will come off to the corner. And then I think at one point balloons came out. I don't know what I
Yeah, there
did.
was one episode, and I was like, "Is this ghost over there or something that's like setting shit off in the background for you or something?"
So y'all, when it happens on screen, I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to
Well,
tell
thank
me.
y'all for indulging me on this Thanksgiving holiday spectacular. I hope that you all have enjoyed our trip. And I hope you all are looking forward to Thanksgiving next week because I am. Thanksgiving is actually a very special day this year because it is also my birthday. My birthday is falling on Thanksgiving, so I am, and it's a round birthday for me. So it's just I'm hyped for Christ. All right, Crystal. I know you got something for us. I think we're going back down a road that our listeners quite enjoy.
Yes. So actually, a friend of mine on Instagram who's been following our podcast
Mm.
and stuff like that, he's been commenting and DMing and letting me know his thoughts and opinions on some stuff. We've had whole conversations about episodes. He actually sent me this story saying that he wanted our opinion on it. So I told him I would do it in the following episode. So I found it on Reddit, and while I have read the title, I have not actually read the full story. So for the first time, both me and Timmy are going to be surprised by what is being said in this story. So I'm kind of excited about it because this is what we want. We want you guys to send us stories. Whether it's you personally or even just stuff that you want us to react to. That way we can show it on this podcast with both of us being surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend, I think his handle is like DJ Dewan or something like that on Instagram. He sent this story in, and it is called, "Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay the extra money my mother-in-law put for a gift I didn't ask for?"
Give it to me one more time.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay the extra money my mother-in-law put for a gift I didn't ask for?
Okay. Okay.
My mother-in-law bought me a new coffee machine. I don't know why, as the one I have is still working fine, but whatever, I accepted. Okay, damn. Before leaving, she told me I needed to pay her $30. I asked why, and she said that she planned on putting only $50 in the gift, but the cheapest coffee machine she could find was around $80. So I needed to put the $30 she added for the machine. Okay.
Girl, go to hell.
That confused me because if she planned on only putting a certain amount in the gift that I once again didn't ask for, then why not give up the coffee machine idea and buy something that actually was $50? She said she didn't care about paying more if it made me happy. I said, well, clearly you do care. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask me to pay the extra $30. She said it was just a matter of principle and that if I had manners, I'd pay her. She then left. She later texted my husband that she was waiting on the $30 and would take back the coffee machine if I didn't. Well, girl, take it back then.
Girl, come get this goddamn contraption. I don't know how to work this shit no way.
I told my husband to respond that she could come take it back because I was not going to give her $30. My husband is not okay with that because he got attached to the machine.
Well, you
whatever
can go
that
too.
means.
Right with the machine. Bye.
And to just give her the $30. I told my husband if he wanted to keep the machine, then he should give his mom the money as she wants. He said I needed to do it because the gift is originally mine, even though I never asked for it. I never asked for it. He said I was making this harder than it needed to be and was selfish to not pay the extra $30 for the coffee machine his mom got me, especially knowing that he likes it. I have a hard time seeing how I'm wrong, so I'm coming here because there might be a chance that I am in the wrong. Should I just give his mom the $30 like she asked and be done with it?
Ma'am, whoever wrote this, the original poster, I want you to know that you are in the midst of being hoodwinked, bamboozled, and played by this lady, and that's her mother-in-law, right?
Yes.
You are being played by your husband and your mother-in-law. They have conspired to get you this, and he's broke, obviously. Because why can't you pony up the $30 for this machine that you attached to? So you didn't want to ask her to get this coffee machine, and your mama got it for you for a gift, and now they trying to bamboozle you out of last because she also didn't want to pay that $80 for this expensive ass goddamn coffee machine. So now they trying to squeeze this money out of you instead of asking you for the money, because there's no other explanation. Why are you fighting me for a coffee machine that I didn't ask for, but you insisting I need to pay for?
Right.
I'd rather throw this hoe in the garbage tonight than get that lady $30. She gonna waste that whole $80 messing with me.
Yeah. I'm confused by this. To me, that's the only explanation, because no way is someone really like, well, I got you this. I only meant to spend this much on you, but I ended up spending this much. So you owe me whatever the extra amount was. Like, no. Granted, I'm not coming at the fact that she got you a coffee machine even though you didn't ask for it, because honestly, to be honest, most of the time, like, I don't ask for things for Christmas. So if I have something and someone else buys me a better or an upgraded version, even though I didn't ask for it, like, I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. That's so nice of you. That's, but I'm not like, why did you buy me this? I didn't ask for it. Like, that's a little, I'm not gonna lie, that threw me a little bit when you were like that, when you're like, whatever. But I will say, to the husband who was apparently attached to it. At the point where I was like, I don't want this anymore, and she tells me, if you don't pay me the $30, I'm taking it back. And I said, great, come pick it up. That is the point where I've returned it. It is no longer my gift. As far as I'm aware, it is already back on the shelf, ready to be resold. I have relinquished all rights to owning this coffee machine. However, if you then decide you want it, that is now your gift. That is now for you. So if $30 needs to come out of it to pay for this, that will be now your responsibilities. However, with that being said, be prepared for the pettiness, because I am absolutely positive that if he were to fork up that $30 and he's using his fancy new machine, and you look at that fancy machine and you're like, you know what, I would like some coffee from that, he absolutely will be like, that's mine. That's my coffee machine. I paid $30 for it. You can use your broken ass one over there that you didn't ask for, and I'm going to use the fancy one. Be prepared for that pettiness. Is it right? That's up to you to decide. Is it wrong? That's up to you to decide too. But I fully see that, because the way he's reacting, I feel like that's exactly what he would do. He would be like, well, you can't use my coffee machine then.
I was so stuck on the fact that of the conspiracy of it all. Was this like a birthday gift, or what was this?
I think this was like a Christmas gift of some sort.
Was it a Christmas gift?
Maybe. It just said gift, so I was...
Because it sounded random as hell to me. It sounded like you just came over my house on a Tuesday afternoon in July and was like, hey, I just got you this $80 coffee machine that you didn't ask for. Give me $30.
Yeah, you know what? It does kind of come off that way.
Yeah, you wouldn't have left that coffee machine, because now I'm thinking this coffee machine is hot. Like, you just bought this off of the back of somebody's truck. Like, get this shit out my house.
This was posted 3 months ago. So yeah, it could very well be just a random
heat of summer. It's still hot outside, girl. What I want with some hot ass coffee machine?
That's why your theory where it's like the son wanted it but he couldn't afford it, and so they had it. Yeah, I think that's probably the most likely theory.
What is it with families and scheming on each other, Kristal? We read a story every week of somebody scheming on somebody.
Right.
It has never been that serious. It has.
No.
If you want that coffee machine, girl.
This would have been the sensible thing to do. If you wanted that coffee machine that you couldn't afford, but your mom's like, I'll pay for it if you go in partially, I would then look at my partner and be like, I can't pay the full $30 for whatever reason. Could you put up $15 and I'll put up $15? I feel like as if you had come to me in that way, yeah, we don't need another coffee machine, but if this is something you really like and this is something you really want and you feel you know, we would benefit for it or whatever, or if you just want it, then sure, I can put up $15. Right. You can put up $15 and then your mom can pay for the rest of it. But going in the way you're going about it.
Because now I'm thinking, not only are you a schemer, but you're lying to my face. And now I'm thinking you're bad with money. Because why don't you have $30? And why don't your mama have $80 to get this goddamn coffee machine that she's calling a gift? Why are y'all scheming on me? Now I can't trust the people that I'll call family.
No.
And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, are you paying the mortgage?
Right.
Like, do I need to run to the bank and check up behind you to make sure that our bills are up to date? Because why are we going about it this way? Why are we sleeping in the same bed, but you can't ask me for $30?
This is one of those videos. I don't know. You're not on TikTok, Timmy, but there's a guy on TikTok. I don't know what his handle is. It could very well be the red flag guy. I don't know. But he basically, what he does is he'll show a video or something of someone telling a story about a guy. And then he cuts in. He's just running through the woods with this huge red flag, just like going back and forth. And he's like, red flag,
yes,
red flag, red flag. Yeah. And then he sits there, he comes to the camera and he explains why it's a red flag. But he just starts off with this running across the screen. You just see a red flag going back and forth.
Whoever the red flag man is, y'all please tag him in our video, because he needs to react to this, because by the time you got to the middle of that letter, I was like, oh, everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go. Because you're not finna play in my face like that and expect me to just be okay with it. Like,
Yeah.
child.
Ma'am, you are not the asshole, and I
Oh,
would
absolutely
seriously think about maybe, just living on your own from now on.
not.
Take that how you will.
Yeah, child. Because I tell people to get a divorce every week. So I'm glad I don't have to say it this time.
This ain't the one. This ain't the
Yeah,
one.
no. Mm-mm.
Okay, so moving on. I believe, are we doing my short stories now?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so because you guys loved the Karen Chronicles so much, I have not found a really long story like that one yet, but I have found screenshots and like little short stories. Some of them I've seen over the years and some of them I haven't. So I've decided to bring them here so that we can read about them and discuss them. So this first one says, a Karen with a twist of Jesus.
What
Twist of Jesus.
a Karen with a twist of Jesus. I know that. I am stealing that. I'm sorry. If somebody say, "How are you?" You know what? I'm good with a twist of Jesus.
With a twist of
Hallelujah.
Jesus. So
Oh my God.
this one said, and this one is in the subreddit FU Karen, but they actually say the full word. Okay. This says, what do you do? This looks like a Facebook page post, by the way, too. So this person said, what do you do when you go to a restaurant and your waiter is an atheist? Normally, I'll pay without leaving a tip and write a bad review on Google. This past weekend, I decided to be more proactive. I ordered the chicken livers, and when the atheist brought it to the table, I insisted that I ordered a steak. I made that loser take it back to the kitchen and make me a steak. Then I complained to the manager about the atheist and skipped out on the bill. Establishments need to be taught it's not okay to hire atheists.
Karen. Come on, dog. We don't have to do all that. Like,
you know what?
Told that poor person that you ordered something completely different. Why didn't you just get? So, how did you even know they were an atheist? Number one, they probably were just a little emo.
Right, that's what I was thinking. They probably
had a swoop bang and a lip piercing, and she was like, "Son of Satan!" Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yes.
Oh my God,
Karen. This is bringing me flashbacks to our work that shall not be named establishments, because this felt eerily familiar. I feel like I've encountered this a few times because anybody who's served in a restaurant, you have encountered that religious person who will like fold up the little fake bill that looks like bill, and then when you open it up, it's a prayer. It's a prayer book. Yeah,
they got my ass good.
We used to staple that in the back in our pantry with the receipts so people could see who it was from and what they left us. We had like 3 or 4 of them by the end of the year.
I was about to say, there was a point in time, there was like one season where it was I don't know where them people came from, but it was like all the time. And I had got one of them. They had left it in my checkbook, and it was a little $100 thing peeking out. And I was like, oh my God, now these people left me $100.
Right.
I got to the bed, opened that bitch up. I damn near burst into flames. Burst into flames back there in the pantry.
Chuck that book out.
Child,
open up the window and see them walk in and chuck it at them.
I wanted to wrap that $100 bill around a brick and get the tossing that bitch at the table. I was so mad.
Okay, so this one is called Meet Karen the Bridezilla.
Okay. Young
is so
Karen.
Funny. This is one of the ones I've read before, and I'm so happy I found it because this one was wild. So this one says, help, I need advice. My fiance and I are having lots of issue right now. We can't stop fighting and I don't know what to do. I quit my job because wedding planning was taking up so much time and my fiance is refusing to get a second job. He doesn't understand that I don't have time to get ready for work, drive to work, be somewhere else all day, and drive home. I need to be home to plan this wedding. I'm trying to find a job from home, but it is difficult. I asked him to get a second job and he won't. It really pisses me off because we are spending $80,000 on this wedding and he keeps saying that we should spend less. Hello? No, this is my wedding. My wedding. I have been dreaming of since I was little, and I refuse to have anything but my dream wedding. How can I convince him to work a second job to pay for this? What happened to happy wife, happy life?
Unfortunately, ma'am, most of those women end up on Dateline. And that's where you want to end up. This is crazy. This is crazy. You cannot be a real person, ma'am. Like, you're asking this man to get a second job so he can pay for $80,000. Do you know what you can do with $80,000?
Shoot, get a house.
You could pay you can put a fourth of the cost down for a $420,000. Come on now.
See, and this is where we're talking about how people get so wrapped in the actual wedding aspect of getting married. They think they have to put all this money towards it. It's one thing if you're well off, if your family or you're coming from a family who's well off and they're paying for it or something like that, fine, whatever, do whatever you want. But if you cannot financially pay for this wedding without being in debt afterwards, why? Because after the wedding is after the one day or whatever, if you're into that situation, the couple of days it takes for the celebrations. But after that very, very small amount of time, then you have the rest of your life you have to look forward to.
The whole thing?
You have to figure out where you're going to live. You're going to have bills. You're going to have other responsibilities. If you have kids, you're going to have kids you're going to have to worry about their future.
Once some kids comes into play, that's a variable that you can never calculate for. You don't know how your relationship is going to be after them kids get here.
Exactly. You know what?
And
so
I was planning my wedding prior to the Ponder replay. Because I don't know if I can say it. Because they be talking about people be getting shadow banned and shit online for saying, talking about that time. You know what the word is. So during the Ponder replay, we were planning our wedding, and we was gonna have a shindig and whatever else, and we ended up the Pacific Ocean hit, and we had to end up going down to the courthouse and doing it like that. And honestly, it's one of the best memories of my life. It was so small, it was so intimate, and I think I honestly enjoyed that more than I would have enjoyed like a big ass celebration. Like even though we weren't planning like a super big thing, but it was a shindig,
But still, when you're planning something of any large scale, you're going to be the center of attention, but at the same time, you're going to be the center of attention. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to take pictures of you, congratulate you. They're splitting you and your husband up so they can converse with you and all this stuff. So you're not spending as much time with your new husband as you get to. And when you think about it, like, is that really the thought you had when you were getting married, was that you were going to be entertaining everybody and not actually enjoying the wedding that you put on?
Exactly.
I would just think about that when it comes to when you think, oh, I have to have a huge wedding. Do you? I mean, there are people who have that main character syndrome, so they thrive on that. But I think a lot of people in reality, you think you want that big wedding and you end up being more stressed about it than actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
If you've ever watched on TLC, was it Four Weddings? Have you ever seen that show? Where it was
Mm.
four women
Mm-hmm.
and they were all getting married around the same time and they all had different price points
Mm-hmm.
and they all attended each other's weddings
Mm-hmm.
and then
Oh,
judged them based
yeah.
on, the location, the
Mm-hmm.
ceremony, the
Yeah.
venue for the after party, food and all that shit. It, like, if that don't turn you off to the idea of weddings, I don't know what will.
It was so
It
catty.
was disgusting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, they'd be like, she's serving her salmon on silver lined plates. Can
Right.
you believe it? Like,
Everything was
girl,
criticized.
I hope you choke on a bone.
Nobody could have, and I get it because it's a reality television show, and I'm sure a lot of it is, there was never really a person who could be like, oh, this was just really nice, it was really beautiful. No, I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you there's a producer going, say something mean, say something different. You got to say something different. Cut. Can we cut? Can we cut?
Yeah.
I need you to say it this. I need you to say it this. And even
Mm-hmm.
if you're like, I don't want to say that, they're gonna be like, no, I need you to say this. I need you to say this. Just say it once. Just say it once, because that's the one they're gonna use.
Oh, yeah. That dress makes her look like a horse.
Right.
Like,
And they're gonna
goodness
cut off the
gracious.
horse part of it.
Yep.
That's all you're.
That dress makes her look like a horse.
Cut away.
Hard cut.
Nurse is watching like, I did not say that. I did not say that.
I say she looked like a horse.
Completely different.
Hey,
Completely different
come on.
insult.
In context, hello.
Horses are great.
Right.
Okay. This says, I am looking for a babysitter urgent. And these are a list of requirements that they have made. My kids are 11 and 14, need to be available Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and weekends, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or later. Must have a car, 2020 or newer, not a Ford, and a valid driver's license and a clean driver record for the past 5 years. Need to be good with animals and computers, Office, Zoom, PowerPoint, as my kids need help for their homework and school project. Responsibilities: cook all the meals and snacks, clean the whole house, dishes, laundry, floors, walls, windows, drive my kids where they want to go when they want to go, walk the dog, feed the cats, and do poop and litter. Do groceries and other errands. Need to know how to use delivery services. Need to be an excellent cook that uses all the Canadian Guide different products. Be able to speak at least 3 languages. Must be a good singer. Have at least a bachelor's degree and also medical knowledge. Valid first aid and have a degree in psychology. Others: no tattoo, piercing, or dyed hair. Must be single and have no friends.
So you want a slave? you want a slave? Like,
Yep.
how you want her to know how to order delivery, but also be a master chef? You want her to speak how many languages?
3.
You also want her to be an IT person, but also a medical professional. Like, what else you need? You need her to have an O blood type. Like, what else can I do for you? Do I need to sprout wings from my back on command? Like, what the hell are you looking for?
Look.
And I gotta be single? Why I gotta be single? So your husband can rub up on me in the pantry and shit because y'all some fucking freaks. Like, what is Kristal? These are making me mad.
I've seen so many like babysitter requests, and there'll be these long ass lists, and they're like, but we're only paying for $100 a week. Must be okay with it. And people are like, that's illegal.
But they want her to work every day of the week. They want a slave.
Yes, they want a slave. Yep.
I'm disgusted.
Yep. Okay, I got 2 more. This is from a girl. She said her handle is at this cast girl. If Karen was your landlord, she says, I just don't think it's legal to do this. And then it shows like a screenshot of someone making a comment. This person is Bob and Helen Dixon. Look, it's on the thing. It wasn't
Bob and Helen.
And it says, I added a clause in our lease that they are forbidden to cook with any spices that leave smells. Me and hubby drive past at random during dinner time for a smell check just to make sure they are complying, and we check their pantries during inspections to make sure there is no spices or anything that smells in their kitchen. Bob,
Okay.
what is Karen feeding you? What this is the prime example of, the white girl who's like, I make food for my man, he loves my cooking, and then she shows this white ass chicken that we're not even sure is completely cooked. And she just like takes, I don't know, some like random barbecue, just throws it on there or something like that, and she's like, I made barbecue chicken tenders.
I feel
That's
like
giving this
she
vibe.
is the type of woman that puts paprika on her food and calls it spicy. You would be, if I come home and you're in the middle of inspecting my apartment, which is for me would be a deal breaker for me for an apartment. You're never allowed to come back in this. After I rent it, you better not step foot back in this apartment until I'm out of here. But if I come to my apartment and y'all doing a check and I see you in my spice cabinet, I'm calling the police. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're stealing. If I find an eighth of a quarter of an ounce missing out of my granulated onion powder, you're going to jail.
Yeah. That's why the miscast girl, the one who was showing it, she was like, I don't think this is legal. You can't do this as a landlord. No.
And you driving by doing a smell test.
I just feel
lucky. You know them pranks that you see sometimes where people in the car and they got that fart spray?
Yeah.
I'm hiding in the bush, and as soon as they come creeping by, all up in your nose cavities. You finna have permanent smelling damage messing with me.
I feel really bad for Bob's like diet. What kind of diet are you having, Bob, with Helen cooking for you?
Bob's family have been eating like that for generations. So it is nothing out of the ordinary. They have been eating albino chicken for dinner.
Honestly.
Not Alfredo, but albino chicken.
Okay,
his entire life.
This is the last one I have because we're running out of time now. We're getting to the point. So this is a Yelp review from 2019, and it says, I'm giving 1 star because of the cheap management and customer service. I heard the food was very good, so I went to try. Me and the BF, best friend, boyfriend, I'm not sure. But me and the BF got the calamari, spaghetti, alla vongole, and gnocchi.
Ew.
And all was very delicious. I was actually so impressed that when the manager came to ask us how everything tasted, I told her it was some of the best Italian food I've ever had. And I told her I'm going to post about it on Instagram, where I have over 11,000 followers.
I thought you were about to say over 11 followers.
You have to be a little more impressive than that.
No. Down laughing. Okay.
She says, I'm 11,000 followers, and a lot of them are in the area. She seemed very happy about it. I was wrong. I thought that she would be grateful for the free advertising, but when the check came, there was literally no discount at all. I thought at least one of the entrees would be taken off, but they didn't even take off the calamari or even the drinks. I won't go back here because of this, which is a shame because the food was very good. The manager needs to understand how to treat customers.
I don't know where to go from here. There are so many things wrong with this. It's the fact that you presumed that you would get a discount for your little measly 11,000 followers.
Look.
Of whom you have probably purchased 2/3 of and claim, like, girl, if you don't get on Yellow Pages and Yelp like the rest of y'all Karens do and leave your little star reviews for people to like, why would somebody ever assume But you know what? People act really, 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 really weird about restaurants. I had a couple one time. Chris, I don't even know if I told you the story. Maybe I have. Where they had come to the restaurant 2 days in a row, and the day before, they had another server who was a friend of ours who stopped speaking to us after a certain dinner.
Okay. I know
um,
who you're referring to.
mhm. They had that person, and we know that that person is a very, I would say, I would use the word jovial
Mm-hmm.
person when it comes to their guests.
Mm-hmm.
I am a very polite, attentive, and to the point type of
Mm-hmm.
person. You know, I'm a whole conversation with you, but not too much past what I need to get you in and out of here, right?
Yeah.
I thought we
Because
had a good time.
understand this, where we worked, we didn't
Mm-hmm.
just get to go up to somebody and be like, hey, what can I get for you? We
Oh
had a
yeah.
whole spiel we had to give,
Mm-hmm.
because we worked in a tourist area.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite a long process just to get to the ordering, because we wanted people to have a nice experience in this
Mm-hmm.
establishment.
It was a good like minute and a half like front loaded speech before you even got to order drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a minute and a half and you're like, oh, that ain't nothing. When you go to a restaurant, it is not even 10 seconds. They're like, hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. Can I get y'all something to drink?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to do that. It was damn near a minute and a half of us giving a spew
Mm-hmm.
before we even got to get a drink order.
And you could
So
tell sometimes you could speed up, because you could tell there was people who would be looking at you like, and you're like, okay, you're not
yep.
interested in this. Great, I can
Yep.
skip all this. But there are
Mm-hmm.
some who are like,
Yeah.
and they
Oh, and
clearly
they're
want to ask
asking
questions.
questions. Oh my God. I had one man tell me that I needed to look up my ancestry to see if I was if my people were originated from the area. Cause he asked me and I was like, honestly, I don't know. And this is a Caucasian man
Of
telling
course.
my black ass that I needed to, look back through my auction papers and see.
Because that was really what he was asking for.
Okay, right, and see which auction block my people came off of. Anyway, so these people, that person came over
Mm-hmm.
to the table and was like, I had these people, they're great, da da da. So I was all with it. I was like, yes, we finna have a good time. Ba, 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 ba. Them people ended up leaving me 1 penny because they didn't have that other server, because that other server section was full. So they had to begrudgingly come to my section. When he was there, they were all all happy. Soon as he left, dead. I tried interacting with them. They didn't want it and left me. I, in my time there, I I can honestly say I didn't really get bad tips.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that.
Yeah.
That shook me so bad
Mm-hmm.
because I know I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I know it
Yeah.
was just because they didn't have him and they were annoyed about it, but they wanted to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and they took it out on me. So people will surprise you
Mm-hmm.
in how they act about their restaurant experiences. So I don't put nothing past nobody when it
Right.
comes to these restaurant stories.
Well, and to piggyback off of the review itself, it's actually quite a common thing with influencers having this expectation, but it's not just about um restaurants, because there are so many like screenshots of that business owners show the public, where someone's like, hey, I'm really interested in your establishment, either a restaurant or a hotel or a destination of some sort, something. And they're like, I have so many, I would really like, they always start off by saying, I would really like to be able to visit. And the people are like, great, what day do you want to come, when do you want to do it, blah blah blah. They're trying to set up basically like a schedule. And it isn't until it gets to the payment that the person is usually like, well, I have like this many followers, like you could get, you know, really good exposure when I talk about this. And they're like, yeah, still it's going to be this much. And it's like, a lot of them don't necessarily want to say, I thought I was going to get this for free. They're like trying to work around it. And then when it becomes obvious it's not working, then they'll be like, well, I just didn't think I would have to pay for anything. And then they're like, that's not how business works. You know, I do like it when some businesses were like, well, how about we do this? You pay for it and then post about it. And if we get so many, you know, if we get, you know, I don't know, 10, 20%, you know, back from it, then we'll give you, you know, back so that you ultimately you got a discount or something like that. I think that's completely fair. But these people are like, no, I'm not paying for this. It's just, it's entitlement. That's what it is. It's entitlement.
It really is, because you got to look at it from the establishment's point of view. Like, girl, I'm taking a risk on, like a big risk on giving you, you know, this merchandise or this meal or whatever for the low. You know, you can be coming in here lying to my damn face. You may have 11, 12, 50,000 followers, but that may not turn into anything, you know, for me.
Right.
You're not Keith, you know, Keith Lee, the TikTok food critic guy. He been going through all this stuff with Atlanta and stuff. He has real influence. Like, he changes people's lives based on his reviews and stuff. Little girl, you are from Suffolk County. Right. I don't know you. Like, I don't know where your followers came from. I don't know if you like, okay, maybe I get 1 or 2 customers that wouldn't have come otherwise, but that's not touching my bottom line. Like, stop playing.
Especially if it's like a destination place where, you know, you may have millions of followers, but if these people aren't in and around my general area, they might not have the ability to come to my establishment, you know, despite wanting to, because they saw your video. So at the end of the day, I'm not getting any real business from you, because the people that follow you may not be able to actually emulate what you're showing. So yeah, I think if you're an influencer, I think it's great that you want to use your platform to promote something. I think that's fantastic, because there are so many businesses out there who could use that promotion, but you should approach it as a partnership and not as a free one. Like,
exactly.
If you want to, like, hey, I want to promote this in some way, like, you know, is it okay if I come in here and film this stuff, blah, blah, yada, 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 and just leave it at that. It will be up to the establishment to then be like, you know, we'll give you a little bit of a discount, where, you know, we'll give you a code. And if someone comes in and they're like, yeah, I got this from so-and-so, you know, then we can, you know, almost like an affiliate marketing type thing. You know, you should look at it more as a partnership than, you know, something that's only benefiting you and might benefit them.
Show them some results first, and then let them compensate you on the back end.
Yeah,
you see what all these movie stars are doing nowadays. They're taking these smaller checks and taking these deals and writing it on the back end, because they know they're gonna see a lot more money on that side based off of their name. You know what I'm saying? So y'all girls need to stop playing yourselves. Don't give me no platform, because I'm gonna be in all the crab spots talking about, do y'all know who I am? I need 30 crab legs to go now. Oh, Kristal, but thank you for ruining our evenings with these
You're
Karens.
welcome.
We hate them. In the best way. In the best way. So thank you.
We hope you
so
like this new little Karen Chronicles we got going on for you.
Yes, the Karen. I do enjoy the Karen Chronicles, and it seems like the listeners do too. So we want to thank y'all so much once again for tuning into the Tea and Kristal's podcast. Kristal, I had a good time this evening.
I did too. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, ma'am. If y'all want to send us any of y'all business, If you want to share some stories with us, like Kristal's friend did, we will mention you, give you a shout out on the show. We will read your story. We will react to it.
We
This is a
have
very go ahead.
over 800 subscribers. So,
Come on.
if we say your name, those 800 people may hear it.
They may hear it. And they will appreciate you because you have brought some content to the show. And you don't know how we cut up to that letter, Kristal. And we may do it again to a letter that you send in if it's worth it. And we will incorporate your comments that you leave on our reels and on our social medias in future episodes. So please keep doing that. If you want to send us any comments, concerns, that you can if you want to send us your business, please send that to teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal @gmail.com. If you want to see our faces, how we interact and react to these different stories, because I be trying to keep myself on mute so Kristal can get through some of these stories. So my face be doing all the talking, okay? And if you want to see how we ranked our the food that we talked about, the Thanksgiving food that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, because we did give thumbs ups and thumbs downs. If you want to see those, go over to our YouTube page and search Tea and Kristal Podcast. Kristal also posts all of our shorts for our sneak peeks over there, and we also have some condensed versions of some of the Am I the Asshole stories, and eventually we'll do some of the Karen stories too and stuff over on our YouTube page. So we would love for y'all to see that. So please go over to youtube.com and search Tea and Kristal Podcast. Go over to our TikTok. All of our shorts are over there, as well as sneak peeks. And you can find us at Tea and Kristal's Podcast. Go over to the Facebook. If you go anywhere, go over to the Facebook, because we be having a time over there on the Facebook. We love interacting with you all over there, and we love that you all interact with each other. It's so nice to see. So please go to Facebook and search Tea and Kristal's Podcast, TEANDCRYSTALS Also, go find us on the Instagram. You can find anonymous question links on our highlighted stories on our Instagram. We would love to get some anonymous inquiries from you to read aloud on the show. If you have any tea that you want to spill to us that you don't want your name attached to, please go to the Instagram, and that is at Tea and Kristal's Pod. Just to let you all know, this is the last episode before Thanksgiving, so we will not have a new episode Thanksgiving week, but we will have a new episode the week after. Kristal and I are very much looking forward to enjoying our Thanksgiving holiday. I'm ready to eat all that food, and I'm sorry I can't let y'all get in the way of my meal. I apologize. And we also have some personal things going on during that time, so we want to take some time to be amongst each other and with our families. So please forgive us for being off that week, but please look forward to a new episode the Friday following Thanksgiving. And we hope that you all have a very happy and very safe Thanksgiving. We hope that you enjoy your family. We hope that you enjoy the food. I hope they put plenty of cornbread on the table, even Kristal says, like it. And I hope that they, give you some root vegetable puree, because Kristal says it's very, very good, and that they leave the green bean casserole in the oven.
I will be telling my mother that.
Yeah. You know what, your mother is an avid listener, so I'm gonna just say, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about your green bean casserole. I'm just talking about green bean casserole as a as a thing that exists on Earth, which I find disgusting. But thank you all so much for listening. Happy Thanksgiving. Kristal, do you have anything to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Now that the 1 week of Thanksgiving is approaching, you are more than welcome to celebrate it, because that is the only time it is relevant. Happy Thanksgiving. And
Kiss
the
my
next
ass.
time we see you, it'll be all about Christmas, the great holiday. Thank you.
Yes.
So, have a
Yeah.
wonderful, safe holiday, and we'll see you next
Yes.
time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.